are the purest. Roll it, roll it. beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it. These beats are the purest. Prove it, prove it.
Welcome in, everyone, to our Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11 LK Easy S 8L Barrier Free 8 GPH ADA Water Cooler Dirty Fountain Bowl between the Alaskan Salmon and the Matsumoto Marshadows. My name is Naive, joined alongside Spicy. We have a great game for you tonight. Demon already banned on map number 1, breaking the auto prod already, as we do not have a signet for Demon. Alaskan Salmon, it's not blank. They did, in fact, ban the Demon. As we are going to go ahead and just head into map number 1 here between these two 0-5 teams, Spicy.
Yeah, yep. And we're back in lobby already. But yeah, this is gonna be a game of all time, I think. This is gonna be quite the banger. Uh it because it's good it's to me it's a battle between vibes and mechanics. And in a league like this, both have equal merits to win. So
Yeah, somebody's going to have to win today. We'll see if that is the Salmon or the Marshadows. Wow, Autoprod really stepping up there. It says both teams banned Reaper. That's not right. It's actually indeed the Demon ban from the Salmon. The Reaper ban for the Marshadows is correct, though. They were the ones that also picked Lijiang Tower. The Demon ban, I will say, putting some respect on Didn't You See Me, he played the Demon against the Shadows last week and actually performed incredibly well on that. They full capped on push. But Didn't You See Me, he's not going to care. It's just going to start on the DPS instead.
yeah, I think the look that the Marshadows are giving is arguably their better look. With Slade and Didn't You See Me comboing on DPS here. And looking over on the Salmon, we have Tommy Slat tank, which we haven't seen a lot of this season quite yet. I don't know if it's because of just like availability issues or what, but we just haven't seen a whole lot of Tommy Slat tank as Ghosted wants to go in fast.
Yeah, Ghosted on this Doomfist, trying to put a lot of pressure here. Lobster in a little bit of trouble. Does get the wall right to safety. Thomasat's actually going to get the first pick here for the Salmon. Didn't You See Me falling down there? Ghosted soon to follow. So good start now for the Salmon. They should be able to clean this up. Corey, so far, looking good on the Sojourn. This is one of the things that he was wanting to do going into the season. Recognizing that his best look was on the DPS. He wanted to put himself, on his, lowest SR role and try to carry.
And we have seen the Quarry DPS in past seasons, specifically when he was on the Hyraxes, show some really good work and effort. But we are going to see Didn't You See Me force point here just to get the Salmon to back up just a little bit. But Ghost is already really low. Nano the Mercy also taking a rail shot, and Ghosted falls to Tommy Slap.
Yeah, he just kind of got stuck in the corner there. Annex, over and over with the overhead slashes. Ghosted had the power-up punch, but nowhere to really go with it. It seems like the engage from the Doomfist not really being followed up on by anyone else from the Marshadows. So Ghosted going to make the swap over to the Ramatra, just a little bit more brawly, just trying to put some pressure into Tommy Slat. Slow already down on point, catches Lobster, but Ghosted really low. He's forced to use the form early, and Annex getting the kill on the side with that overhead crit onto the head of Didn't You See Me, forces the rest of the Marshadows back once again.
It's notable that we just saw Annex diff Didn't You See Me on his, specialist character. Didn't You See Me is very well known in this league for his vendetta. And we just saw Annex just completely shut him down. We're also seeing Slade on her signature Freya here, but and she has the highest damage, she's gold damage in the lobby right now, and just popped her bola here and gets Lobster, but she's really not really able to get a whole lot of work done as Ghost is going to fall really low to Annex.
Yeah, continue rush from Andrew, putting so much pressure, and Tommy Slat just following up with the grab already 90+% here for the Salmon. Corey just going to finish it off with the overclock. It's only Didn't You See Me alive here on the coast. He's going to be able to get one touch, but he has no teammates with him. And so how many touches can one little Tracer get? Turns out it's only one. Celebratory beat there from Lobster. Not needed whatsoever, and the Salmon with a strong 100-0 start here on Lijiang Tower.
Yeah, that was a very forceful start coming out from the Salmon, and it was a very different look than what we've seen from them in the past. It'll be interesting to see if they can keep this momentum going. It doesn't look like they want to make any big swaps here, and it looks like Um, the Marshadows don't really have any big swaps to make either. It looks like they're going to stay on this Doomfist Freya Tracer look with both Flux DPS here, opting to TP out as the good Flux DPS does.
Yeah, I liked the pace a lot from the Salmon. I think one of the things that people have been very critical of them in their last few series is that it's felt like they've just been a step behind, always just a bit slower than the other teams. But today, at least so far, they've been able to go first, put a lot of pressure onto Ghosted especially, and Didn't You See Me, and they've already done a good start of that here, taking away the point as it's going to lock here in a few seconds. Ghosted has the power-up punch, going to look for it in here. Didn't quite get anyone off, and it's peeled well by Lobster and Annex, just forcing the Doomfist back, and Corey on the other side does get the first pick there, but Ghosted coming back in with the power-up punch, gets into two, finished off Andrew. Another one onto Tommy Slat. The Zarya is fully charged though, and so eventually the Doomfist just kind of succumbs to the damage of that plus the Vendetta. Annex with a little 3k in the fight. And Didn't You See Me has come back from spawn though.
Yeah, they did get the flip, and they did technically win that fight, but it wasn't fast enough to really restable on point. But Nano the Mercy is just going to die kind of in Narnia here.
Yeah. And now Tommy Slat swapping over to the D.Va, trying to, I think, put a little bit more pressure on these two flyers. Didn't You See Me, of course, swapping over to the Pharah as well. Already Tommy getting right in his face, making sure that the Pharah doesn't really have any room to breathe. And Corey getting another first pick onto Nano the Mercy. Once again, Ghosted punching in, but he's only going to find the wall and find his way back to the spawn room. Addix goes deep, cleans up 3 members as well. Slade left running back to the spawn room. And it's a good adjustment there from Tommy Slat and the rest of the Salmon regaining control.
Yeah, I really like this D.Va pick here. D.Va, I mean, even D.Va into Doomfist is a pretty good pick. But again, Doomfist isn't necessarily the best character right now, but still, I think the D.Va looking at the D.Va into the 2 flyers is good. But we are going to see Didn't You See Me swap over to the Vendetta now, mirroring Annex here, trying to shut down this D.Va just in the front line. Ghosted is gonna get booped off the map, but does use ult to survive, and Andrew is gonna fall to Didn't You See Me, but Salmon are gonna pick up 2.
Yeah, they should clean this one up as well. Continuing rush from Andrew came a little too late to keep himself alive, but that long, sustained ultimate did just enough to put some pressure there and pick up the fight. These ults from the Marshadows, they're just a little bit too far behind. Noah's Ark, Nano the Mercy, still a few percentage away from their own ultimates. Salmon have 4 in hand, 78% and counting now. Ghosted going to walk forward after he swapped over to the Czar, and the overclock out early here from Corey. He's on this long angle looking for these shots deep into the backline and finds one onto Ghosted. The teams are super split up, and that means Corey can walk into the backline, get a 3k with the help of his supports. Didn't You See Me? Nano the Mercy, last alive beat has to be used, 95%. Nano the Mercy, sit off the app. It's a great boop from Lobster. Lucio diff.
From Lobster.
Didn't You See Me? Last alive does get 1, but that's all it's going to be. Ghosted now coming back for the touches on this ball. Swaps as well. Noah's Ark coming back with the Kitsune Rush and the Bola as well. Nice Suza from Andrew, countering out the ultimate. Beat him response from Lobster, keeping everyone on the Salmon alive. And Ghosted, he can only roll around, but how much damage can the ball really do? Slade's still alive for now, but Tommy Slat ends that as the Salmon are slowly but surely winning out this fight. Didn't You See Me? Last-ditch effort now with the blade, but it's not going to find anything. And Ghosted, the ball just rolling around, but the rolling is going to stop eventually, and the Salmon are going to win map number 1.
In a very dominant showing at that. Almost 200-0. This is a completely new Salmon team than what we've seen.
Very impressive from them. Annex looked great on the Vendetta here. Just putting a lot of pressure on the front line, seemingly the entire map.
I'd have to think this is something that the Salmon cooked up in response to this team. Maybe hoping to have Annex kind of diff Didn't You See Me, knowing that they potentially have the better tank options here.
Potentially. We'll see what the Marshadows have for us going forward, or if the Salmon are just, sneakily on the rise here. We'll find out in map number 2 after a short little break. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch Clash continues after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, week number 6. The Alaskan Salmon off to a very strong start in the series as they took a dominant win on Lijiang Tower. We're going to move over to Runasapi now for map number 2, as picked by the Marshadows. Salmon banning out the Freya. Marshadows going to ban the Lucio in response. Two very strong bans targeting, very specific players on the other team.
But in the case of the Salmon, though, the Salmon have a very good lineup where Lobster isn't in on support. And from what I've seen, the Marshadows don't really have a lineup where Slade isn't in on DPS. So, and I think, and we are going to see that that Lobster is going to get rotated out here, and I think that's probably one of the smartest plays that they could do. We're going to see Corey and Buns Bronson, who is actually here now.
Yes.
We no longer have Andrew ringing for Buns Bronson.
Yes, but we still are going to have, as far as I'm aware, none of them are ringing for Munching. Though, of course, Munching on the bench for this one. So Pierce coming in, get to see them for the first time this series.
Yeah, I think it just based on the bans, I think I'd have to give this map an edge to the Salmon. They have a more flexible lineup where they're able to play around these bans quite a bit, and especially using the Lucio ban on a push map is also interesting because you don't necessarily need the Lucio ban on push. If we could have held this if we went to a flashpoint or something.
Yeah. I think Flashpoint definitely the stronger mode for Lucio. And you would imagine that Lobster would almost certainly be in every single scrim for Flashpoint playing Lucio probably. So it would take the Salmon out of their prep a little bit more. But instead they're going to use it here, thinking that maybe they just need a strong ban to get themselves back into the series. They don't care as much about whatever if it goes to map 5, but they want to get back into it right here, right now. That's why they pick push. A lot of teams also don't pick push for a similar reason, where it's a lot of push maps are kind of the same, and so maybe save that for later this series when map picks aren't as strong. Maybe go to a hybrid or an escort that you feel really strong about, but Marshadows feel really strong about Runasapi here, I guess, instead. And we are going to see Didn't You See Me start on the Demon.
So supposedly Didn't You See Me as a demon on the Demon. So.
Yes, can confirm. As someone who watched their last time playing on this exact map, on this hero, Didn't You See Me was kind of a beast there. Going into the Tommy Slat Ramatra, it's definitely not a great matchup for Demon, but it's not unwinnable. It can be really strong if the Demon can just get into the backline and disrupt a lot easier. It's very hard for any backliner to really put pressure on it, but maybe this Vendetta will do quite well for Annex.
Yeah, though I'm a little curious as to the Jetpack Cat pick from Buns Bronson here. I don't really see anyone on the side of the Salmon that really want to make use of this cat.
Well, they do have Cass. Yeah, the high noon combo, of course, very strong, and people are already getting a good start here, taking out Ghosted on the Tracer. Not a pick I think we've seen too much from Ghosted. Mostly been the Venture for him most of the season, and didn't. Yeah, that pressure from Annex so strong onto the Demon. It's just so hard. You can't shield off that damage. Can't do anything about it. And so the Marshadows going to get sent packing here, and Annex still causing problems on this Vendetta on map number 2.
Absolutely, and we are going to see Tommy Slat on the Ram too, a relatively notable counter to Demon too. So
yeah,
maybe the Marshadows were read a little bit, read quite like a book.
Annex taking a lot of pressure, though. He was a bit farther forward than Tommy Slat was, and so all 5 members of the Marshadows are just going to shoot the Vendetta, get the first pick there. Good start for them. Tommy Slat out of the form already, so Didn't You See Me should be able to just slice him up and down. Stuck in the corner here. Didn't You See Me just going to play a little slowly, though. Okay with taking their one-man advantage and just playing around this choke, but the longer it takes for the Marshadows, the quicker Annex is going to get back. In fact, I'm sure he's almost here already. And so the Salmon perfectly content to just wait for the Vendetta. And in fact, yeah, they're just going to go. Now that Annex is back with the Kitsune Rush. Didn't you see me? Falls down again here. No mech for the Demon. Goes down first pick. And the rest of the Salmon just going to search forward and get this cap.
Yeah, we did see them stall out a little bit on this corner, but with especially with Annex falling here, but it's nothing. This comp is actually surprisingly durable. Between Buns Bronson being able to airlift anyone out and just like the hardcore
here we go
coming in from Cass and we're getting the
Fly Noon, Noah's Ark, yep, nowhere for the Kiriko to go, but didn't you see me? Gonna surge forward with the help of the Kitsune Rush and Noah's Ark put down before they died. Catnap onto the Demon though, sends Didn't You See Me way out of the fight. Pierce is still down main with this beam, trying to turn it, and is gonna do so with the help of Slade. People eventually gonna fall. And so it did cost him both support ults, but the Marshadows going to get the stabilization here and start throwing push.
Technically, that was 4 ults invested from the side of the Salmon there. We
expensive.
Corey used, yeah, we did see Corey use Kitsune Rush early in that fight. So the Marshadows just are up just a little bit in their ults here. And we are going to see Slade pop OC really early here, just to find some sort of tempo. Try to get a pick here.
Tommy Slide is in the back line, did find Pierce, and with Didn't You See Me falling really low now, that might be the pick that the Salmon need to get back in this one. It seemed like it was all lost after the overclock came out from Slade. They lost one, but Tommy Slide with a heads-up play there, taking out the Juno and Ghosted. He's just caught way behind, nowhere for the Shion to go. And so the Salmon do a really nice job, 1 for 0 on the ults. They're going to regain control here. But nice pick again from Slade, taking out Buns Bronson this time. And Annex getting brawled over here by Didn't You See Me. The Vendetta has a bigger sword, but it turns out that the Demon's one just does a little bit more damage. And plus they have a larger health pool to work with as well. Tommy Slide, the form going to run out. He's just forced to back up further, and Peepaw, he's left to the wolves.
Yeah, we do see Peepaw. I don't know if he was looking to escape or what, but it was a little out in Narnia, and now things might be falling apart a little bit for the Salmon. Tommy Slide has 3 on him in the back line, but it's not going to matter as he gets staggered out, and the Marshadows have already started getting robot progress.
Good news for the Salmon is that it was a long, drawn-out fight, and they didn't use any ults, so they've been building up that whole time, and should have plenty of opportunity to fight before the checkpoint or the lead gets taken here. We'll see which way they choose to go here. Annex kind of playing around this coast side angle. Tommy's side just going to walk down main, gets slashed and dashed by Didn't You See Me, but the peel is there and didn't force to back up now. 2 ults popped here by the Salmon. And Slade was stuck in the corner. I thought they wouldn't notice, but yep, they have some eyes. And so she goes down. Kitsune Rush trying to turn the fight here, as well as the Demon ultimate as well. Catches onto a bunch, but the Suzu was there from Corey. Ghosted, though, trying to keep it going here with the Shion Spree. Catches 3 members of the Salmon. Tommy Slat, low HP, trying to get the kill. Is going to do so with the help of the block slop, but he's the last alive on his team. We'll see if he plays for this. I think it's only Didn't on the other side. See if he chooses to give up the checkpoint or if he's going to play for it. Looks like he is indeed going to give it up.
Slade is going to get back here.
Ooh, does just touch it just in time.
They are going to be able to get that touch.
Peepaw popped the High Noon, but the Marshadows just...
Not ideal, considering a cat can't drag you over that main tall building here. Ghosted taking a really deep angle, completely behind.
Gets spotted out though.
Here.
Peepaw Buns Bronson saw where Ghosted was, and so he's just gonna have to rejoin with his team instead. Beam now coming through from Pierce. Annex blown up already. Peepaw soon to follow, and Tommy Slat, the block slop only lasts for so long, about 8 seconds, and then it ends. And so with the help of 1 ultimate there, really good beam from the Marshadows, clean that up, and should get the checkpoint off of this.
I'd wonder if I'd start to consider something else if I were the Salmon. Maybe consider swapping tanks or swapping one of our DPS here. or even, dare I say, swapping the jetpack cat here. I don't know how much use this jetpack cat is getting now that the Marshadows seem to have adapted to this.
I think this cat is a good hero, and just an early catnap there onto Ghosted. Saw him on the flank. Can there be follow-up, though? No members of the Salmon are shooting the Shion. Once Bronchins has to drop it and finished off themselves, but on the other side of the fight, Slade had gone with the overclock, and Tommy Slat a few rails to the face, and he gets sent back to the spawn room, meaning the rest of the Salmon just forced to concede, and that's going to be the lead given over to the Marshadows.
We are going to see Tommy Slat swap over to the Mauga here, which I think it's a better idea than just kind of block slopping it on the ram. It gives you a little bit more self-sustain here when like Buns Bronson and Peepaw and Corey are all in the back here. Ghosted is going to take a very bold bike ride straight through the Salmon.
Peepaw got stuck in the slowing field of Slade, and Didn't You See Me hits a massive ultimate, does get Suzu'd and stomped back from Tommy Slat. So the Salmon trying to peel it off as best as they can, but without their cast, the damage just wasn't there to take down Didn't You See Me. Once he got healed up, got his cooldowns, back gonna surge forward. And the Marshadows looking very good now. Considerable lead on the board, and they're camping the spawn room right now.
Tommy's not gonna swap over to the Orisa, and Annex gonna swap over to the Bastion. I think these are also some very good swaps here. But Tommy's not taking so much poke super early.
Flying Noon out here from Peepaw, last ditch effort for the Salmon, but didn't charge it up long enough. Nozark didn't even die to that one, and Annex had fallen down as well. It's only Tommy Slat and Corey alive now. 2v5, what can they do? Not much is the answer. And that should be the full cap here for the Marshadows. Some late touches are going to come out from Peepaw. Catnap on there does cancel out the beam from Pierce there. So the ultimate gets negated, but no one else can touch the point. Tommy Slat just not able to get there in time. And the Matsumoto Marshadows is going to tie up our series 1-1.
Yeah, that was what the Salmon had in the beginning was working, and then the Marshadows just adapted, and Salmon just didn't really respond to that adaptation here. And yeah, I think we needed to see the Salmon just change up what they were doing just a little bit earlier. But we'll see what they have planned coming in on this next round.
Very different look from the Marshadows there. You can kind of see why the Salmon chose to ban out that demon. Didn't you see me piloting it to great success there on Runasapi. We'll see if he's going to play more of it going forward, or if they have something else cooked up for us in map number 3. Don't go away though. After a short little break, more Overwatch Clash continues after this.
These beats are the purest. Prove it.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, Week number 6. We have a series tied up after 2 here, going into Surabasa, as picked by the Salmon. We have a Jetpack Cat ban by the Marshadows, with the Salmon banning out the Pharah. You know, Spicy, we were talking in the break a little bit. We were really surprised at the Jetpack Cat ban, mostly because you imagine Lobster is going to play Lucio anyways, and so the chance the Salmon were going to play the cat was probably pretty low, we thought.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think especially on Suravasa, Jetpack Cat doesn't have the most value as a character because of how many low ceilings there are out on all but 2 points. And even then, like that one fountain point, it's like iffy. And then the Pharah ban, I can see them doing a read onto like Slade. Knowing her Pharah is pretty solid. But I think these bans are a little bit more questionable than what we saw last map for sure.
Salmon going to swap up their comp a little bit, going back to what they were running on map number 1 with Corey on the DPS, Lobster in on the support. Marshadows going to stick with the same lineup they had on the previous map. I imagine just running back the Didn't You See Me Demon that looked so strong.
Yeah, I think yeah, we are going to see the Demon here again. We are going to see the Salmon go with the Didn't You See Me classic, surprisingly. The Zarya Vendetta here. I think Suravasa is a really good map to do it too. I think Suravasa is probably the best map to do it. We've seen it popularized by a number of teams so far this season, but
yeah,
teams are about to roll out here.
It seems like the team's just going with what worked for them best. The Zarya looked really good for the Salmon map number 1. The Demon looked really good for the Marshadows on map number 2. And so now we get to see them against each other here on map number 3. Starting out, they are taking the different rotations, and so on the opposite sides of the map, it is going to give Corey a slight advantage with the slightly better Soj angle. And Didn't You See Me is not going to have as much cover here, just forced to concede the point to Tommyslat and the rest of the Salmon. It's going to unlock here in 2 seconds. Digging in is Ghosted, though, looking to unburrow right into the back line, but Anix hit the overhead slash perfectly timed to drag the Venture right back down to the dirt. But Tommyslat does get traded by Didn't You See Me in the meantime. And with no tank to protect him, Anix is going to fall as well. So the first cap is going to go the way of the Marshadows.
Yeah, the Salmon need to find something to do about Didn't You See Me Demon here. I think because no matter what they're trying, they're kind of losing no matter what. Like they try to ignore her and go to the back line. She just kind of jumps on your back line. You try to beat her in the frontline duel, she just kind of out sustains you because she just has 750 armor or 750 health.
Yeah, this Demon's so hard to displace. This personal shield could cause a lot of problems for the Zarya. It's just, usually they try to burn down their opponents as quickly as possible. But with the help of the Vendetta from Anix, does do a good enough job of taking down Didn't You See Me there. Pierce just going to stall it out for a little bit longer, but the flip going to come back through for the Salmon. 70% early game for the Marshadows, though.
Yeah, I do like... I think we saw what the Salmon need to do here, and that's let Anix and Tommyslat just face tank the Demon, while Corey, Lobster, and Buns Bronson are just kind of sitting in your own backline, poking out the other team's backline. I think that's exactly how the Salmon want to be playing this matchup here. And we are going to see Ghosted go on a cheeky little flank here. But I think Buns Bronson is a little bit aware.
No, they are not. They had no clue, but they get the TP off in time to survive. Lobster, though, going to be in a little bit of trouble in the corner. Drill run through, does catch the Lucio. The other side of the fight, Anix did pop down the blade, but it didn't find anyone, and Ghosted still alive here now with the Tectonic Shock. Picks up another, leading towards this 2-man advantage now here for the Marshadows. Lobster going to use the beat, keeping Anix alive. The Vendetta is going to be the last hope in this fight. Slash misses. And so maybe the beat just a little bit too late there. Tommy Slap was already down. And the Marshadows going to get the cap right back here, 70%. There may be a touch from the Salmon, but it's going to be close.
Yeah, that was even then, that was a really expensive fight from the Salmon here. And if you're the Marshadows, and we are using Kitsune, we are using Overclock.
Yeah, just making sure.
I don't think they really needed to do that unless it got forced out.
I think they just wanted to make sure that they would secure the fight. I don't hate using one ult to secure the point, especially when they're already up on the ult economy there. The Salmon did get the touch, and so overtime was forced. So I don't hate it. However, getting traded there at the end from Slade, definitely not as good. The Salmon should be able to get here as 5 a little bit faster with Slade getting that late death. They're going to try to take this rotate through the high ground.
Another really cheeky flank here. Forces Corey out super hard.
Yeah, and just gets the kill onto Corey. I think the Suzu from Buns Bronson just a little bit too late. This Venture just putting on a lot of pressure on the back line. Just cleaning up here. It seems like Anix has not been doing a fantastic job of marking out Ghosted, you know, with no, you know, casts from Corey or anything like that. Nothing really stopping this Venture from just, you know, being a menace in this backline. Look, they're hiding again.
I think
they don't know. They don't know where he is. Drill Run catches both DPS. Corey down immediately. Anix gets the bubble, but the Kitsune rushes out from Noah's Ark, and the rest of the Marshadows surging forward, getting these kills. Buns Bronson, he's going to accept his fate, stand still. The sneaky play from Ghosted playing dividends here. And they're hiding again. They're just going to do it again.
Yeah, I think I want to see something different than the Vendetta here coming up from Annex. I think it was a good try, but seeing how much your backline is getting cooked, seeing like you guys, the fact that you guys aren't even winning the frontline duel or the backline duel, I think it's just not really worth trying to play into this. But they do get 2.
Yeah, this time Ghosted's ultimate just a little bit too late. The Salmon already had went forward, and so didn't really find any value though. Corey with 2 from the Disruptor shot, and they found the flip in the middle of this too, so the longer this fight goes, the worse it is for the Marshadows, especially if they lose this one out. Didn't You See Me super low, does get back to the health pack, but it leaves Pierce alone on point here. Finally, Didn't You See Me gets back, and does get a kill on Tommy Slide. Slade's back from spawn as well. Shots good here from the opposing Sojourn. Corey hit the overclock button, but just didn't find the shots of their own to finish that one off. Didn't You See Me stayed alive through all of it as well. One trade does come out from Annex, but the flip coming through here. Slade with a 3K. Annex getting killed late, and that's going to be the second point going the way of the Marshadows.
Yeah, I think
Hops are trying to beat, though. They take the 3v5. They don't even care that the down member is beat. Forces the ult out from Didn't You See Me as well as the overcock from Slade. But I think the beat there a little ambitious, down so many members.
Yeah, I think the Salmon are kind of grasping at straws a little bit, not really knowing how to respond to the just the sheer amount of frontline pressure that Didn't You See Me is putting out, combined with the backline pressure of Ghosted on this Venture here. And Ghosted's gonna just hide here again, and no one is the wiser.
This time, though, is going to be forced to dig away. Annex chasing down the Venture. The first time we've seen Annex really put the pressure here. Gets a TP as well from Buns Bronson. Good job there by the Salmon, collapsing on Ghosted, finally punching them for all the flanks they've done. However, it did cost them the point, and so Marshadows get the cap. They are down 1 member, though, and so the Salmon looking good in this fight so far.
Oh, Annex getting Noah's Ark really low, but just the peel coming in from Didn't You See Me is just too intense. Lobster falls really low as well.
Yeah, and that's just going to be it. Ghosted the ult from behind. Very odd fight there from the Salmon. They were up 1, and Annex looked like he wanted to go aggressive, put pressure, really take advantage of their numbers, but the rest of the Salmon played so far away that Annex just got blown up early, and from there, the ults from the Marshadows were good enough to clean up the fight. And now, last fight territory on the map, Salmon, they've not been able to win anything. They've had leads, they've had man advantages, but haven't been able to convert it into fight wins. Annex going for the Sundering Blade from high. Doesn't catch on to anyone, and Corey has slid in with the overclock, was pressured out there by Didn't You See Me, who's found another kill with his ultimate. Kitsune Rush from Buns Bronson, last-ditch effort now for the Salmon in the map, but Ghosted still alive in the back line. Doesn't even matter what they do to him, Ghosted will always be here. Drilling once more onto Lobster, and that's going to be it here. The Marshadows 3-0 on Suravasa. And take the series to match point.
Yeah, I don't know, man. The Salmon just seem too married to this Zarya Vendetta idea, and like it's working in spots, but it's overwhelmingly not working. And I think they need to recognize that and just make an adjustment. Put Annex back on his Genji. Like the Genji that we all know is really good, but something needs to change for the Salmon. That needs to change fast.
Yeah, tough there from the Salmon. Marshadows on the verge of victory here. However, it's not over. It's not the first time the Marshadows have had won 2 maps. Long road ahead for the Salmon, but still, anything is possible. Map number 4 coming up after a break. Don't go anywhere.
beats are the purest. Prove it.
Welcome back, everyone, to our Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, week number 6. The Matsumoto Marshadows up 2-1 in our series after 2 very dominant maps in a row. The Salmon going to take us over to Watchpoint Gibraltar now, going for a little bit different of a look, trying to, go to a map where Demon maybe isn't as strong on. They're going to ban out the Kiriko, the Genji ban as well here from the teams. So, Spicy, what's your expectations here going into map number 4?
I think seeing Annex on Vendetta gives me pause because it may have worked map 1, hasn't worked maps 2 and 3 yet.
Yeah, especially because it's not a great Vendetta map either. You'd think it's just a lot of verticality.
Exactly. Yeah, and I think I'd have to give the edge to the Marshadows comp here a little bit more. Just the fact that you have a tracer that can force point, the fact that you do have a that you're playing on a Brig into a Diva and Vendetta. I think it's just
no game audio.
Oh, my fault. Sorry about that, everyone.
Spectral voice of Booney.
Yes, spectral voice of Booney, always a joy when he's in my ears. In fact, I hope I never have to hear him again. That was very unpleasant. So far, the Marshadows so far the Marshadows just gonna be pushing this cart, getting underneath here. Ghosted, gets slept there. Nice sleep by Peepaw, but woken up almost immediately. Recall force, and he's gonna be able to survive. And Noah's Ark does get the whip shot onto Corey. So the Marshadows, they're up 1, got this payload moving here. Buns Bronson's own pedal going to be used by Ghosted so he can get up to the high ground. I think maybe he could have gotten rid of that one, as now they can take advantage of it here.
I think the Ana Life Weaver backline is definitely interesting. I don't know how much I like it, but we have Peepaw on Ana, and I think that's probably the best. I'm not completely familiar with Buns Bronson's hero pool,
but the Salmon, they're still holding on for now here. The Bolo from Slade did catch onto them, but they didn't get any kills from it. Now Nano Boost onto Didn't You See Me, gonna force out the tree in response. Andy as well onto the Diva. No Kiriko there to Suzu, and just can't get back into the mech after the bomb. The counter nano was also used onto Tommy Slat as well. Looking for another kill here onto Slade. And so the Marshadows, they had a good start there, but there's only a minute 40 left now on their attack.
Yeah, they really, like, the Salmon did a really good job of just slowing the pace of what the Marshadows wanted to do. And really drain the time bank here, and it's looking like, oh, Didn't You See Me go super far in?
I think they got
the mech deleted.
I think they got distracted there. Maybe saw Corey in the side room and thought that was a free kill, but it was actually a trap. They had Annex and Tommy Slat waiting in the wings there. Didn't You See Me actually is the one to go down there. Tommy Slat did, was forced to use the remech there, just so they wouldn't be stuck in baby form, but I think you'll take that trade for essentially a fight win. Now, 60 seconds left. There's still 2 ults online here for the Salmon. Annex with the Blade, Corey with the Deadeye. Slade and Noah's Ark going to come up on their own ults as well here for the Marshadows, so they still have an opportunity, but it's going to be their last one here on attack, or they are going to get full held. Tommy Slat walking into the backline just takes down Pierce immediately. The sleep went right into the defense matrix there, and now Annex surging forward with the help of his tank. Rally is forced by Noah's Ark, trying to stabilize, keep everyone nice and healthy. Blade now out from Annex, just going to catch onto Didn't You See Me, taking away all that armor. So low is the Diva. Kai's to come in, help Noah's Ark, who's gone so far deep with this rally, but as soon as it ends, his life does as well. Didn't You See Me, you're going to lose the mech to boot. And so the Marshadows running out of steam here. Slade does get one trade onto Buns Bronson, but Tommy Slat, the Diva on point, is going to be the last boss here. Corey was a little split there from the rest of his team with no supports alive. Tommy Slat, he only has so much health to work with. Annex back from spawn here, but the support help, Pierce, getting back in time, does do it here. The Marshadows are going to cap point A. but it was a lot more work than they wanted.
Yeah, I think even though they kept in overtime, I think the Salmon have to be very careful, because this is the moment that the Marshadows could just snowball and full cap the map with a pretty respectable time bank. So I think the Salmon really just have to play smart here. Punish what they see. Ghosted is going to use Pulse Bomb. Is going to go wide though.
He tried to get an earlier Pulse Bomb there, but Buns Bronson with the grip onto Peepaw wasn't even trying to save the Ana, but, you know, inadvertently messed up Ghosted plan there. And so the pick's going to go the way of the Salmon here so far. Up one member. Well, Noah's Ark and Didn't You See Me still sticking around, though, trying to trade out, looking for something in this fight here. But Tommy Slat just doing a good job healing. Nano Boost now onto the D.Va. Just gonna play a little cautious, though, not going too deep for kills. Just willing to play safe, play defense here, knowing that, you know, his team's playing strong as well. Buns Bronson gonna get a nice grip there onto Corey. Keep the cast alive. Tree used as well, but the Nano Boost plus the help of Ghosted gonna get the captain all the same. Annex using the blade, trying to catch on a Didn't You See Me. Doesn't able to find the connection, though. However, he is split off, kind of stuck in the old spawn there. Ghosted goes down. Didn't does get out, and Annex is kind of stuck here. I think Slade tried to chase him down a little bit, but it's no avail.
Yeah, the Salmon have just been consistently getting these like one and two picks that just deny the Marshadows any progress. But this time it's gonna be the Marshadows to get the first pick, but it's still even here. Tommy Slat's gonna fall really low. Didn't You See Me gets the ult out. Annex almost dying to bomb here.
Yeah, and Peepaw with the headshot onto Ghosted. Ghosted thought he could win the 1v1, but Peepaw puts a needle straight to the dome of the Tracer. And that's going to do it with 10 seconds left now. It's going to be last touch desperation here for the Marshadows.
We're going to see Didn't You See Me coming back on the ball here. Oh, big sleep coming out onto Tommy Slot here, but Annex finds Pierce.
And Corey, he's just going to sit up on the bridge. Once again, Buns Bronson, the pedal used by Ghosted to get up to high ground and hit the pulse bomb, but the Deadeye trades it right back. And the rest of the kills going away of the Salmon, who are going to hold them here on second point, only 72 meters in. Really good hold here from the Alaskan Salmon.
Yeah, I think the Salmon did a really good job not allowing themselves to get snowballed on. But I think they need to not get complacent. This is still a very losable, very, very losable map here. Having to push basically 2 full points here.
Take a quick look at the stats.
I think we really just have to see Tommy Slot and Peepaw here coordinating on the big anti-nades. Corey making sure that we mark out the Ghosted on this Tracer here.
Tommy Slot the big winner here in the stats, 15-2, 6.2k damage, but Annex actually getting gold damage here with over 7,000. The pressure this Vendetta was putting on was certainly immense here. It felt like, you know, on the previous maps, even though Annex had the Zarya bubble, sometimes he would play a little too far forward from the rest of the team. But here, I think it works a lot better. They have 2 long-range supports who are able to heal Annex wherever, as long as they stay in LOS, plus Tommy Slat diving in with the Vendetta. And crucially, Buns Bronson has hit a few really nice grips to keep the teammates alive. And so the Salmon looking to get success here on their offense. Ghosted is going to swap over.
Corey opting to go Reaper, which is I think is an interesting option. This is just a raw speed coming out from the Salmon here, but Ghosted is going to be on the Echo, which is going to prove this Reaper a little bit more difficult.
However, in the side room fight here, I think Reaper does have a little bit of advantage. Just going to TP into the back, looking for Noah's Ark, forced the bash away, just playing safe. Sticky's hit onto Corey, but the shots are still there. Corey, nice discipline not to use the Wraith form a little too early, and he's still in the back. I don't think the backline there of the Marshadows realized, and it's a huge grip. Max range there from Buns Bronson. Corey gets out all of that. He may not have gotten a kill, but he caused so much distraction and so much pressure that this payload was able to move all the way through the underneath section, and the Salmon basically going to win a fight there and get control of the blue box for free.
Now, oh, didn't you see me? Falls really low. All of his armor just gets instantly shredded, but Slade finds Buns Bronson.
Nice pick there from the Freya. Tommy Slat trying to trade out, but Slade does have enough jukes to stay alive. Tommy Slat's just going to go down for that one instead. And so here is where the Marshadows need to make their stand. Pierce on a strong angle, Slade on a strong angle. Corey's somehow been caught here. This is going to be a huge stagger onto the Reaper, but Ghosted killed on the other side, so instead of it being a stagger, it's actually just a one-for-one trade.
Yeah, and I prefer this trade for the Salmon too. Slade with the bullet goes wide. Pierce falling to Tommy Slot as well.
Didn't you see me? Does use the bomb there. The pistol shot's good enough to kill Annex, and gonna get that remech. Tommy Slot had to leave, or he would have lost his mech to the bomb there. Copy onto the Reaper from Ghosted here. Just gonna be forced back. However, the Salmon are still down a person, and with that tree just coming a little too late to save Corey there, I don't know if the Salmon want to continue this fight much more. They could keep investing, but just down a member, this could end up costing them huge. However, Nano Boost onto Annex. Tommy Slate going to follow up. Huge combo there into the backline. Counter Nano onto Didn't You See Me, but Annex going to use the Sundering Blade, just taking away all that armor. The Nano can't save you through that damage. Didn't You See Me forced up to the high ground now. Has to touch the point, but Didn't You See Me is waiting there with the crit shots. And the Salmon are going to get the cap.
Yeah, but Tommy Slot's way in the backline here, just getting bullied by 3 of them, but luckily is able to get out and survive. And now the Salmon cap first point with almost double the time that the Marshadows did. And Annex finds Noah's Ark.
Yeah, and Tommy's going to go in the back looking for Pierce. Nice peel from Didn't You See Me. Huge defense matrix, but Tommy's Light doesn't care. He's going to go deep for it anyways. Does get the kill on Peace. Onto Pierce, I should say. Bomb used from Tommy Slat, so he is going to get out of that one. You know, I don't know if the bomb was worth that trade. Buns Bronson, you know, I think he got spawn camped there. Not sure exactly what happened with that one. However, it's just going to be reset. 2-man ante
nade
from Peepaw. Doesn't quite get the follow-up, though, and Corey is in a little bit of trouble here.
Oh, Tommy Slot takes Ebola to the legs. Look at the alt bank here.
Corey?
Oh, Corey.
Corey? What? Why? He's swapping, right? He has to be swapping. Surely.
I hope so.
What? Why would he do that? His team was all in spawn. What?
Okay,
Okay,
okay.
the
He is
May.
swapping. He is swapping.
Thank God.
Okay, okay.
Ghosted in a little trouble, though. Is going to get out. Nano boost onto Tommy Slot here. Salmon want to end this here. Take us to a map number 5. Noah's Ark
The
has
just giving
the rally.
much space.
Huge anti-nade from Peepaw, though, onto the rally, and another grip saving Annex's life here. Ghosted in the back, trying to 1v1. Buns Bronson is going to get that kill, but the help of the Blade, Annex forcing everyone back. Tommy Slide gets another kill onto Slade. 3v3 here, but in the end, Didn't You See Me? Ghosted just a little bit too strong on point. The supports there from the Salmon just a little bit disconnected. Peepaw went for a rotation mid-fight. Buns Bronson got 1v1 by Ghosted, and that cost them dearly.
Yeah, I think that grip onto Annex was for Buns Bronson to just say, "Hey, I have an on-run on me. Please come save me." And Annex said, "Nah, I'm good," and just went straight back to the Ana.
This time, Ghosted gonna get fought out by Corey. Better matchup here. Bola into the back, caught onto Peepaw. Followed up as well with another shot, but it's a 2-for-2 trade here. And now with the tree, keeping everyone healthy, it's only the Freya, it's only the Diva alive. No supports for the Marshadows. Ghosted is going to have that revive without a Vermilion Assault. And Slade caught in the corner, does get the shots onto Tommy Sled. 1 HP, the Freya gonna live the healing. The packs there from Noah's Ark. Tommy Sled does get back into the mech, but the stabilization is here for the Marshadows. They have everyone alive, but didn't you see me gets frozen? Corey built up the Blizz just in time. Nice sleep on a Tommy Sled, though. Means he's gonna fall down to the self-destruct. It ends up being a trade 1-for-1. Tommy Sled does get a kill with the pistol, though, somehow. Not exactly sure how that happened. And the rest of the kills coming through here. Buns Bronson going to clean it up with a nice little 3K for the Weaver. And the Alaskan Salmon going to take us all the way to a map number 5.
Alaskan Salmon going to keep us in it with a very scrappy fight. There was so many different fights going on that I was having a hard time keeping track, but the Salmon are gonna prove just it. I think it was definitely. I'm still like just like lost. That fight was so messy, so scrappy. But I think that's just what the Salmon want to do is keep these fights extremely scrappy and just disorganized.
Salmon showing us they got more in the tank. Bringing us all the way to map number 5. Would you have it any other way for the Season 11 LK Easy 8? Easy S, 8L Barrier Free, 8 GPH, 88 Water Cooler, Dirty Fountain Bowl. I wouldn't have it any other way for sure. After the break, map number 5 coming up. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch Clash continues after this.
These beats are the purest. Roll it, roll it.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Aurora Esports Overwatch Clash Season 11, Week number 6, Map number 5, between the Alaskan Salmon and the Matsumoto Marshadows. Somebody is going to come away from this map having a 1 on the win column for the season, and one team is going to come away with 2 winless stages. They both don't want it to be them, so they've swung for the fences here. King's Row is the pick for the Marshadows, with the Venture being banned and a Zarya ban in response. I know it says Diva. That is incorrect. It says the Zarya ban. I'll fix that up here. Yes. So, Spicy, how do you think about these bans here?
I think both of these bans are really good for either team, but I think the Venture ban is going to do a little less into the Marshadows, seeing as the Marshadows have swapped back to the Ghosted on tank lineup. Ghosted tank, Slade Didn't You See Me DPS.
Yeah, we could take a look at these lineups here. The Salmon only going to make the change, putting in Lobster back in for Peepaw here. I imagine, the Wien could be really strong. Maybe the Ana, maybe not as good with Kiriko back in the game. So, bring back Lobster for the Wien, potentially that Lucio, of course. And the Marshadows, yeah, switching the Ghosted tank, I'm a little surprised by this. I thought that Didn't would have been able to just play the Demon, which won them their 2 maps handedly, but instead they're going to go for something new here.
Yeah, maybe they have a special strat cooked up here for Kings. That's the only real option I could imagine. Because I just don't see a world where Ghosted wins in the tank matchup against Tommy Slot here.
Well, yeah, they did ban the Zarya, and so potentially the idea is just going to be harder for the Salmon to play their Zardetta, Ghosted. I'm not exactly sure what he's going to roll out. Could be the Sigma. If Tommy Slat rolls out on the Diva, maybe that's a good matchup, but there's also nothing really stopping Tommy Slat from just playing Ram here on a really good Ram map, of course. So, kind of very, very interested to see what the Marshadows are going to pull out here.
Yeah, but as we are wondering that, we are going to wait a little bit, as it looks like Ghosted might be having some connection difficulties. But right before we get into the map here.
Yes. Another thing I'd like to point out, Panini in chat, redeeming a fate worse than death, redeeming that 5 times with the idea that the entire losing team is going to get put in the gulag. Of course, that would be really funny. Not only do you lose the bowl, but being stuck in the gulag is indeed a fate worse than death. Yeah, and we are just going to be waiting for Ghosted. I'm not exactly sure where that guy went. Hopefully they come back soon. Any other notes for us, Spicy, here going into map number 5?
I am very confused with the Marshadows, why they opted to swap off of Didn't You See Me tank, especially with the availability of Demon here on a really good flat brawl map.
Mm-hmm.
It's very it's curious. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. because that has proven to be your better lineup, and you have opted to not run it.
Yeah. I'm really interested to see what the Marshadows have for us. Didn't you see me? Maybe he's gonna mirror the Vendetta. Maybe he's gonna go. I don't know. And it might. It also might just be that with Ghosted having Venture be banned, that they didn't want to play DPS. That's also incredibly possible. Right?
Yeah,
It's
this is also true. It is very possible that the Venture ban scared, just like completely shut down Ghosted as to what he wanted to, what they might have been planning on doing on this map. And at that point, like if you're just playing 4v5, you might as well just put Ghosted on a roll. They'll be able to, to do something on.
Yeah, I think that might end up being the idea there. But I mean, we did. It's not like Ghosted only played Venture, right? Like they were on Tracer and Shion on Renasapi, which they won that map with him on Shion, and he got to play the game with a 3K. So
yeah.
I feel like is that really like, is it worth that versus not having Didn't You See Me as Demon?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think it's I think with the Venture ban, looking at it, I like the Displayed and Didn't You See Me duo a little bit more. Because that's kind of what we've seen so far from this team, is like a lot of their pressure is being done from Slade and Didn't You See Me, and it's like just those two have just been so integral to this team so far. And again, with Ghosted not being able to play the Venture, and like just not really, maybe not feeling comfortable playing the Echo, the Xi'an, the Tracer on this map in particular, I think again it just makes the most sense for them to go for Ghosted to go back onto tank here.
Yeah. Another thing to note is that with Ghosted back on tank, they bring back Nano the Mercy for Munching here on support. Bringing in a ringer for map number 5, putting your faith in them over Pierce, who of course is on the normal roster and was there in maps 2 and 3 for their 2 map wins as well. So
yeah, just
adds another layer to it.
Yeah, and then looking over at the Salmon side, their roster really hasn't changed a whole lot at all outside of that Runa map, where pretty much like where it was just like Corey and Peepaw kind of swapping 1 for 1 there. With Corey onto DPS and then Peepaw or Corey on support and Peepaw on DPS, which I don't necessarily think was even a bad look, because they got out to a really solid lead.
Yeah.
But it's just, yeah, it's just
Oh, I believe Ghosted is back here, so finally we're gonna be getting into the map number 5. Took us long enough, but maybe it's just to increase the anticipation. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna get the trophy? Be declared the winner of the LK Easy S8L Barrier Free 8 GPH 88 Water Cooler Dirty Fountain Bowl. It's all to play for, really.
Yeah. This is the match to win for both of these teams. Assuming, because this is the mode where there is the possibility of the draw. Assuming no draws here,
a draw would be
possible.
Oh, a draw would be something special, wouldn't it? That would
Not
be something
6
special.
Toilet bowl.
Draw would
I
be
think we are
special. But
finally,
yeah. Are we in? Chat, are
finally
we in?
ready to go in very shortly.
Everyone has said R. We're just waiting on the lobby lead, Corey, to send us into the game. There we
And
are.
we're in.
Finally entering Kings Row here for map number 5. Alaskan Salmon, Matsumoto, Marshadows. Somebody's going to get their first win of the season today. Hopefully on this map.
Hopefully. We'll have to see. We'll have to see what each lineup pans out here.
Indeed, what are going to be the starting lineups here? The Salmon on defense, going to run back Corey on the Mei. This is very similar. I mean, exact same DPS line to what they finished on Gibraltar. Of course, changing up the back line, Lucio Kiri, Tommy Slett going to play his Ram that he likes so much.
Yeah, I think the Ram May look is just like really good here. Like we've seen it across so many teams so far, but the NX sticking with the Vendetta here is still very interesting to me. I don't fully understand it quite yet, but we're gonna see him stick to it, and we're gonna see Ghosted go over onto the Sigma here.
Didn't you see me? Went for a shot. Didn't really find anything. Going to swap over to the Mei. So there's going to be Meis on both sides. Of course, Kings Row, really strong map for this character. The wall's finding a lot of values, just splitting off members of the team. However, the Salmon don't have a hit scan. They don't really have any long-range pressure. And so Slade, kind of uncontested, Ghosted also just willing to play this range onto the Sigma. Eventually now walking forward, and Tommy Slade, he just goes down before he even pressed shift. Just maybe a little too ambitious, trying to hold on to the cooldown as long as possible. It's a nice wall from Corey, but the break is there from the Marshadows. And Annex gets taken down from the ensuing rock.
Yeah, just the double flex thought here for the double flex DPS thought here is just I don't think it's necessarily a good one. I think either Corey or Annex needs to swap the hit scan here, and it just allows the Salmon to just play a whole lot more kind of chill. They don't have to like keep going in. But didn't you see me? It is gonna fall.
Yeah, got a little.
It's a very clutch pick.
A little split there. I think both supports for the Marshadows were playing on point, and so the Salmon just recognizing that, pushing forward, and this is the strength of their composition, is frontline damage. Annex is just going to be putting in so much damage to Ghosted, who is just going to keep getting walled. Tommy Slate coming in with the punches. Ghosted, didn't you see me? They have to be careful not to get picked off early in these fights. The longer it goes, the better it is for Slade, who has this Bola, and is going to throw it down with the help of the Blizzard from Didn't You See Me. Corey going to use their own Blizzard as well, but falling down, not really going to be getting any trades out of it. They do get one onto Noah's Ark, but I think that's all the trades that the Salmon are going to get here.
Yeah, I don't necessarily agree with the investment of that Blizzard there from Corey, especially considering your tank had already died.
Max might get staggered even later. Oh, it's so brutal.
Really hard staggers here. I really need to see Corey and Annex swap. One of them to swap here. Just Slade and Ghosted just having allowed to get so much value just because the Salmon just has zero poke.
Yeah, Rock immediately onto Corey, or from, not onto Corey, but onto Annex and Tommy Slat. Kitsune Rush out as well from Noah's Ark. The beat was there from Lobster, but it didn't really save anyone's life. It's a 5-minute time bank for the Marshadows going into point C. They are rolling over the Salmon right now.
Yeah, this is a rough point for the Salmon here. This is a rough round.
Bunce Bronson, Kitsune Rush trying to get back into this, looking for a fight win. It is going to be a Gravitic Flux in response, plus the Bola combo, 2k for Ghosted. Tommy Slat using the Annihilation, but the Blizzard from Didn't You See Me just freezes him. Beat from Nano the Mercy to make sure that no kills go through. It's an absolute disaster for the Salmon. Last touches now here. Anix is going to have to be the one to do it, but Ghosted sees him on the side angle. Didn't You See Me as well. On the other side, does get the pick onto Lobster. The ult from Anix comes down, but it doesn't really find any value. Corey does throw down the Blizzard. Nano the Mercy goes down. And Didn't You See Me has used that block, but with the freeze perk, the major perk already coming online, Tommy Slat gets frozen, and that's going to be it. The Matsumoto Marshadows is going to cap with an almost 4-minute time bank here on King's Row.
Yeah. That's a rough one. That was a rough one to watch. That was... Yeah. The Salmon just did not have an answer for Slade on this Freya, and it's just very... And it showed. It was just dominant. The Salmon just not having any poke whatsoever just allows Ghosted and Slade to just exist where they want to exist for free.
Looking at the scoreboard, Ghosted, Slade, Undying there, 20-0 from the Sigma in 4 minutes. What an absolutely insane stat line that is. Over 40 elims per 10. Just absolutely ridiculous from the Marshadows. Other side, Anix, 6 deaths. You know, just kind of struggled into the May. Didn't You See Me? You know, this definitely isn't the first time we've seen May from this guy. It always seems to be the answer for the Marshadows, and, you know, it just works so well here.
Yeah, it really does. And the fact that the Salmon are going to stay on this May Vendetta look is very worrisome. They don't seem to have learned their lesson from their defense and are just going to keep trying to make this work on attack, and I just don't think it's going to.
I really want Corey to swap off to Sojourn. I mean, we saw it on map number 1. This guy can be effective on the hit scan, and instead it's just going to force this May. They do get the pick onto Didn't You See Me and a nice wall out onto Ghosted, and so, you know, maybe it is going to work if the Marshadows just make mistakes like that. But, you know, it's still a long way to go here. The Marshadows might be contesting this. Ghosted going to walk back forward. However, it's kind of hard to contest here. And yeah, Ghosted's actually just going to get staggered from this.
Yeah, and I mean, this comp does seem to work a little bit better on attack. And yeah, this comp does seem to work a little bit better on attack, but if we do get to overtime rounds again, where the Salmon have to defend, I don't know if this is going to keep working for them. If
the Salmon want to win this game, then they're going to have to at least cap third, and so, you know, expect them to run the same thing. Corey going to go down to the Bolo there from Slade. But Bronson, Kitsune rush. Good job by the Marshadows just kiting this, making sure no one's going to get traded. Didn't You See Me did block the rock there of Ghosted, hit right into the May block instead of an enemy, but more trades are just going to favor the Marshadows as they're already up members here. Another rock onto Tommy Slat as soon as the form ends. And the Marshadows going to get their first hold here.
Yeah, and now that we see the Salmon close to ults, I don't think they're gonna want to swap. They're gonna want to hold on to these characters even longer, just so they can get potentially any value from these ultimates here. And I really don't think that's what they should be doing right now. But we are gonna see both DPS ults coming online shortly on both sides here. Meanwhile, the Annihilation is going to come online soon for Tommy Slat when Ghosted already has his Flux.
Yeah, here it is.
Wants to go early, finds 3.
However, they were around the arch there, so no real follow-up. But they are going to look for Tommy Slat. The Blizzard was out from Corey, but Ghosted able to get around the corner, and the counter blizzard for Didn't You See Me is huge! Catches onto 3 members of the Salmon. They thought they were getting the tank, but they're actually running into the trap of Didn't You See Me. Blizzard for Blizzard, but the Marshadows definitely gonna be happy with that one.
Yeah, I think that was a even though we used a few more ults than the Salmon did, the fact that we won the fight and won the ult trade, I think is still a very good thing to have here. But the Salmon are gonna have an extra ult on top of the over the Marshadows here, but that doesn't matter. The Marshadows are gonna go first. Lobster uses B to try to keep them alive, but Buns Bronson is going to fall really early though, and just the counter beat, counter Kitsune, and everything else has been used by the Marshadows here.
Was a little expensive for them. I'm not sure if they needed the bowler there, especially, but Slade, I mean, already 60% to another one, so can you really falter for that one? Ults for the Salmon, they are coming up on their own Kitsune Rush advantage, but Didn't You See Me builds the Blizzard so quickly. He's probably going to get to his mid-fight. It's a nice wall onto Ghosted. The Sig has to be careful, of course. Nice Suzu there from Noah's Ark, but the follow-up, with the help of the Annihilation of Tommy Slat, is good. They do trade out onto Annex in Ghosted's dyed breath, but without tank here, the Marshadow is just going to be forced back. Bolo there goes a little bit wide. Buns Bronson is going to use a Suzu regardless.
I think it's important to note that was Slade's
Another
second
Blizzard.
bolo in 45 seconds.
Another Blizzard from Didn't You See Me is so strong. The bola there from Slade, I mean, it forced out the Suzu, and Didn't You See Me recognized that throughout the Blizzard. Freezes 2, turns the fight. Corey's going to stagger a little bit more on point.
Yeah, and now it's the only hope left for the Salmon here is going to be Corey's Blizzard into Ghosted's Gravitic Flux here, and it's just going to be. This is not looking good for the Salmon.
Minute 36
Tommy
left
is gonna
on their attack here. They need to win this fight if they want to have any chance of capping here with any sort of time, but Ghosted's Flux does enough here. Tommy Slet dies to Slade even before they got the downward hit of the Flux, and it's just going to be a complete team wipe here. 1 minute, 15 seconds left, and Corey's going to stagger out even more on point.
Yeah, it is. The Salmon are grasping at straws here. Corey still has yet to use the ult here. And Slade already has another bola. None of the Mercy also having there be 4 ults coming online for the Marshadows. The Salmon need to play first, need to play now. No more waiting around this corner. We need to press the W key and go.
Here it is, wall out here. Blizzard first, though, from Didn't You See Me, as well as the bola. And once again, it freezes up multiple members of the Salmon. That felt like the last-ditch effort for them. And now the Marshadows, they're going to hold the spawn room. They don't want to let the Salmon even get a touch on the point here. Are going to back up a little bit to the choke, but this is it. 15 seconds left now for the Salmon. Ults in hand for both teams. Beat engage from them. Getting through the choke. Kitsune Rush in response. And the Blizz from Corey does catch onto Ghosted, but Annex already down. So the Marshadows up 1. None of the Mercy is going to get traded, but Corey soon to follow. And this is going to be it. The Matsumoto Marshadows, as soon as Tommy Slet goes down, are going to get their first win of the season. Winless no more.
Marshadows come out on top in this 5-map banger here. Few errors on the side of the Salmon. Leave the Marshadows just on top, and that leaves us with the question of who is the MVP of this fated match.
I feel like it has to, like, there's normally I'm not the biggest fan of giving it to like all the highest R players, but I feel like it has to go to Didn't You See Me. That guy put on an absolute clinic today. On every hero that he played. The Demon was so impressive, as well as, of course, the May on the last map.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think, yeah, didn't you see me just being incredible on the demon, being just like farming Blizzard basically every single fight on the May. I think I would have to agree, and we're gonna get didn't you see me in here very shortly
For an
as
interview.
I
And here he
Oh,
is.
no.
hello
Congratulations.
didn't
Congratulations, didn't you see me on your first victory of the season and your match MVP? Just general thoughts right now. How you feeling?
Happy. Finally got a win. Didn't choke a map 5.
that was definitely what we were that was definitely the linchpin here going into the series. If the series did go to a map 5, it was going to be your game to lose, and you guys certainly did not lose that last map. You on that May farming Blizzard every fight, man. How do you do it?
I look at it, choke, and hold right click.
Very fair, fair. Well, as we all always love to ask here.
Wait,
if
before
you
that.
had to give-
Wait, before
Oh,
that. Before
okay,
that. That's the
okay.
last question we got to get.
Yeah,
Before
my bad,
that.
my bad.
Before that, I gotta ask you about the new hero, that the Demon. Uh, you know, what's up with that? You know, why is no one else playing her? Well, why is it only you?
I don't know. I just play the character because it's fun, honestly. I don't even really think about how good the character is or not. I just like the fact that it's a character where I just have a lot of movement on my own. I can just kind of like almost bait stuff out on my own just by pressuring a fly in with a stab and then just backing out. And then also that like minor perk where I just get the shield back. I can just like kind of throw my shield away in with a couple slashes, back out with the shield I regained. I just enjoy playing the character. I don't think it's like some meta breaking build. I just think it's another tank you can play in like brawl matchups if you're comfortable enough.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you looked really good on it too. So, I think honestly the May was good map 5, but I think the Demon was the real reason you got the MVP here today.
Yeah, for sure.
I got 3-0 on that character in maps right now.
Disgusting. It has to be. I mean, it must be busted, right? I mean, it has to be busted.
Yeah, as long as it's like no flying characters in like a flat ground map.
Yeah. So as long as everything goes perfectly, goes your way, it's broken.
Yeah, pretty much.
Best character in the game. That's all I'm saying. All right, now Spicy, if you don't have any other questions, I guess you can ask it.
Yeah, so before I like I was saying before I jumped the gun, if you had to give MVP to anyone else on your team, who would you give it to?
Oh no, I think everyone played really well today. I think on Serve, Ghosted stepped up a lot. The flanks on Venture were getting insane values. Last map, Slade's just perfect, 45-0.
Ridiculous.
Our supports swapped characters throughout like for this week. Like Pierce and Noah, they swapped the Juno and who's on Kiri, and that worked a lot better. So I think everybody played a good part in getting our first win today.
Yeah, shout out
Awesome.
to Slade for that last map. I think that might be the most dominant map anyone has played this season. There've been people that have had 45 plus kills, but I don't think anyone's done that with 0 deaths. So shout out to that. If we're going off of single map, that was definitely the most impressive single map we've seen from anyone today.
Yeah, I would agree. But if you had to give MVP to someone on the other team, who do you think that would have to go to?
Okay, well, I'm just gonna be biased and say Annex because it's like I felt like he just single-handedly made Gibraltar like nearly unplayable for me on Deta. I think he also did really good on Deta map 1. I think like the 2 maps they won, like he really stepped up a lot.
Yeah.
Very fair. Yeah, I would have to agree. I think I may have had my fair share of criticism for the for Annex being so married to the Vendetta character this series, but he certainly put in the work, and he certainly showed that is still a competent pick right now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, thank you, Didn't You See Me, for the interview. And once again, congratulations for being the winner of the Season 11 LK Easy S8L Barrier Free 8 GPH 88 Water Cooler Dirty Fountain Bowl. Congratulations to you. Good luck to you going forward the rest of the season.
Thank you. Thank you very much for casting.
That is going to be it for us here on the prod, though. Congratulations to the Marshadows, first win of the season, and hopefully they can ride this momentum into playoffs. Both these teams are going to be back in those C divisions, and so a long road ahead of them. But even if you're the Salmon, you're not out yet. Still, an opportunity for them, and they've looked better. I would say better today than they have any other series so far this season, and so still takeaways for them. But that's going to be it here for us tonight. For Spicy, I've been Nave. Stay safe, everyone. Have a good night.
See you guys.